Nick and Billy, thank you so much for all the work you do in creating this amazing podcast. I recommend it to anyone and everyone as this and your new book, Billy, halfway through, is the most powerful, evidence-based, experience-based and compassionate information out there for parents.
Thank you.
Grateful to you both and how lucky the kids that get to work with you, Billy. I may have missed the boat on questions for Matrix, and if I have, it would be amazing to hear more about your perspective, Billy, woven into other questions about how to help our children learn healthy ways of processing anger. You both spoke about social learning theory in another podcast and how as a society we seem to enroll our kids mindlessly in self-defense-based sports because we feel we have to help them if ever they're in a tricky or violent situation. Billy, you briefly touched on your perspective that seemed counterculture to this, i.e. why meet aggressive behaviour with more aggression and how that's a low-level response that doesn't teach them anything. I would love you to go deeper on your view of this in the Matrix Q&A. My son is 5 and we have intentionally not done any self-defense style sports with him and usually do take the counter-culture routes on things. But sadly, the reality is society expects we do this, and what if he was in a dangerous situation and didn't have the skills to protect himself? What can we teach him instead of keeping him safe? What else can we teach him instead that keeps him safe but helps him transform the situation for him and for the aggressor in his early years, childhood years, teens and beyond? And does what we do for our boys differ to girls? Is there a hybrid approach we could offer them to do self-defense, but you wait until mid to late primary years? This is an interesting question, Billy. In a similar theme to this, what constitutes healthy processing of anger? Some schools of thought say that you've got to get anger out of your bodies. So hitting a pillow or a Bobo doll or buying them a kid boxing bag or something that isn't a person or animal is a healthy approach, among others. But then other schools of thought say that that's possibly encouraging aggressive behaviour, as it starts with a pillow and then a boxing bag and then it's a person. I'm yet to decide on where I stand on this. I would just love your insights. Thanks very much, gentlemen.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think before I...
Don't ask me. I mean, I do martial arts. So.
Yeah, but why
I do it for fun. Like, I get bored with going, I can't go to the gym. So honestly, the reason I really do it is because it's like graded. I can see progress. I wanted to see progress in one part of my life during a period of life when it was like I wasn't seeing a lot. And I also just like, this is stupid to see. You're asking me for a sensible question. I actually really loved pro wrestling as a kid. And just loved that sort of action and wrestling mates and stuff. I really love it. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's the only reason.
Who's your favourite? WWF? Was it WWF?
Yeah, it was WWF. So it was Randy Macho Man Savage. Yeah. Randy Poffo.
A bit young for him, but I was more... yeah, The Rock.
Attitude Era.
And Steve Austin. And
anyway, so that's why... But I really do like martial arts. But that's just me.
Yeah, so totally. And that's a lot of people. I think
my kids see it at home because my partner does it as well. They don't watch it.
Your partner doing it is amazing. Doing it's amazing.
She arrived at it independent of me as well. No influence. Why is it amazing?
It's amazing for girls to do that stuff. And we've gotten so good as a society, and this is the difference between how we raise boys and girls, one of the many differences. There's a lot of, there's a big spectrum in the games that we encourage and support girls playing. They can do rough and tumble. They can do caring stuff. Yep. Boys, no caring stuff. It's rough and tumble. It's wrestle, it's kick a ball, it's punch a bag, it's do whatever. But play dolls, play house, you discourage it. Do you know what I mean? It's weird for a boy to do that. So we're so narrow in the spectrum that they don't develop those skills. Then they get to kinder and then they get to primary school and they don't know how to care. They don't know how to be compassionate because they haven't role played it.
Yeah.
They haven't had it in their imaginative play and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So I was driving. I hardly ever drive a car because I hate driving a car. And I was driving my vintage 2006 Subaru. I just adore it and love it. And I remember when I got it and it was the 1 year old and I was very proud. Yeah. And anyway, I was driving it down the motorway and out of nowhere, probably because I was driving too slow, this guy in a huge ute with a trailer on the back and a digger on the trailer starts swerving into me, like swinging the trailer right into just in front of me and like screaming at me and shouting at me and everything. If I'm honest, like I pat myself on the back about Melfi getting attacked. I got angry at first and sped up to be next to him. And then I was like, don't be an idiot. And it just cooled my jets. But he's going home probably to a family where he goes to violence and risk and threatening someone because someone's driving a car too slow. It's horrifying. If you want to know where all the domestic violence, all the awful stuff that's happening to women in the community is coming from, it's childhood. It's how we raise kids. The Bobo doll is a great call out. What that evidence showed is when kids witnessed adults in a playroom hitting a Bobo doll and then the adult left, they went in and picked up the teddies and started hitting them. Yeah. And they threw all the toys around and they were rough because of social learning theory, which the person says. Now, sometimes a physical outlet for aggression and anger can be a really basic, primitive way that we should give kids as a step to dealing with anger, but never the final step. We then go to all the stuff. Now, you invest in BJJ. You also invest every 2 weeks you listen to this and then you listen to it beautifully to give us highlights. You invest probably more in this podcast because this will actually influence the quality of your life. Yeah. Thinking about this stuff, your social and emotional development, more than how good you can do a chokehold or a leg lock. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's crazy. We think like, and there are people that fantasize about, you know, someone says something to me, I'll be able to take them. And it's like, well, you actually could learn emotional regulation, conflict resolution. We should do conflict resolution. Yeah. It's a skill set. Like we should be teaching kids that. What we're trying to learn is how to teach our kids to succeed in their social interactions, not to be aggressive and hostile. And it's a false sense. A lot of girls struggle to be assertive. We think boys do really well at it. They're not doing it successfully. They're doing it emotionally and aggressively. Yeah. And that is not healthy assertion. No. And it puts them at risk. It puts everyone at risk. Yes. It puts their future partners at risk. It's wild. I don't want to soapbox too much, but that's why that one made the cut. So that's my beliefs on that. That's my interpretation of the evidence. That's all these kids I see in clinic that are vulnerable to that because they've had it role modeled by their dad. This is what healthy masculinity looks like, sticking up for yourself, puffing out your chest and taking what you want and being the dominant, powerful person. Actually, it's being, yes, confident and having courage, but being sensitive and kind and generous and all that stuff as well. Yeah. That's not the, anyway, I could do 2 hours on this. I won't. I know. Maybe a future topic. We've done a topic pretty close to this. Have we? Yeah. I can never remember. Once they're done, I wait for one person to say I like the episode, and then I'm like, pressure off. As long as one person liked it, and then I forget the episode happened, and then the highlights come that we picked. Anyway, this podcast is brought to you by Guiding Growing Minds, a social enterprise that aims to give all children the best opportunity to reach their potential and succeed in living rich and meaningful lives.